Hey guys, welcome back for the second part of my list, and it's time to unveil my top 5 reasons to like Street Fighter V. So, without further delay, let's start with something that probably not everybody will agree, but in number 5 we have a new Brazilian character. Okay, so hear me out on this one. As you know, I'm a Brazilian, so yes, it's pretty exciting for us when a video game gets a new character from our country, which is something that I believe most people probably identify with. For example, when Juri came out, they made a big deal about her being the first Korean character, as I'm sure it will happen with anyone with a country of origin that doesn't see a lot of presence in video games. Come to think of it, it must be boring being an American or Japanese in that regard. People probably don't pay any attention to things like this, since it's so common. For those that don't see it that often though, it's pretty cool. And besides, come on, look at how Brazil has been portrayed in Street Fighter so far. We have Blanca, a character that, although popular to the point of following Yoshinori Ono everywhere, is a green monster from Amazonia. You know who else lives there? Oro, who's not really a Brazilian, but, lives in this country, so yeah, in the forest. And then we have Sean that, although cool in its own way, basically serves as a less comical than Hibiki and has a name that no Brazilian would have, and most can't even pronounce, including me. You wanna know how I call him the first time I saw his name in a magazine? San. It gets worse. Sean seems to live in São Paulo, which is cool, but why the freaking fuck do we need to have a broken watermelon truck in the background of his stage in Street Fighter 3 Second Impact? Not to mention the monkeys. Monkeys! In the streets of São Paulo. Are you kidding me? So yeah, we're pretty excited for Laura, a Brazilian that fights one of our most prestigious martial arts and has a name that actually makes sense for us. People really have to stop with those stereotypes of Brazil. We have more than beautiful women walking around in tiny clothes, you know? Oh, wait. Number 4. Parries are kinda back. Different people might have different opinions on what is the best moment of professional gaming, depending on their preferences, but certainly no one can make a top 10 list without Daigo's incredible parry of Justin Wong's critical art during EVO 2004. And you know what? In most lists, it's even the number 1 moment, and for a good reason. Parries are awesome. There's just something about utilizing a special type of defense that relies on quick reflexes and a good dose of anticipation of your opponent's action. Even more if it's the only remaining option, as it was in Daigo's case. Everyone that sees it, even without playing the game, finds it cool as hell. Admit it, every time you do one, even if it's in a simple fireball, you feel like the most badass player that has ever lived. And if you catch a move with multiple hits, you might as well stop playing right there. The result of the match doesn't even matter anymore. So it's pretty cool that they're back in Street Fighter V, even though it's not to its full glory. Ryu's V skill acts as a less effective version of a parry that won't exactly work as it did in the Street Fighter 3 series, but it's still capable of some cool moments. Or, well, at least in theory. It's a little sad that we don't see it too often in tournaments, especially by Daigo's end. We could have an endless discussion about his skills in this game, especially these days, but there's no denying that a new moment like that, recreated in Street Fighter V, would break the internet. Oh, and Alex has one too, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I think every character originally created in Street Fighter 3 should have a way to parry, even if in different capabilities, like Alex, who can only do it during his V-trigger. Imagine if, say, Ibuki could only do it during forward jumps, or Urien only for projectiles. Something like that would be pretty sweet. The downside is that you never know if Capcom will get lazy and decide to add 2 characters with minimal effort in the future, which translate to bringing back the twins, and according to my rules, giving Yun access to a parry. Yeah, maybe I should rethink that idea, just in case. Number 3. Unified Online. If you were around during the 90s, you probably had either a Super Nintendo or a Mega Drive, aka Genesis, and as such, you also had a mortal enemy. Every kid who owned the other console, or perhaps you were the annoying kid who had both, in which case you were always hated by everyone, out of envy. Obviously we wouldn't want one company having a monopoly on those things, as a little competition is always good, but the downside is that people will often make different choices, which you can translate to wrong choices, since they're not picking the same thing as you. And although this is bad for everybody, the communities that rely on online gaming are the most affected. Regardless of who was right, everybody was losing, because players were spread in 3 different platforms, which means fighting a battle was 3 times harder than it is today. Now, thank Lord Helix, Street Fighter V is available for PlayStation 4 or PC, and both players can play together online, so no more hiding around the fact that you play on a different platform. You now have to accept the challenges of any friend. If that was your case, I suggest you check one of my videos called How to Pretend You Don't Suck at Street Fighter, and that should solve your problem. Number 2. Classic Stages. Alright, this came out of nowhere and wow, it was genius. Capcom hit a home run when they decided to have Gaio's stage remade, in full 3D glory and very faithful to the original. Yeah, the boxes don't break, which is a shame, but nothing is perfect. Maybe they can add that in the future as a stage interaction, similar to the ones in the China stage. And if that wasn't awesome enough, when Balrog was announced, he also brought back his classic stage, though it's a little more difficult to imagine what kind of stage interaction they could add to this one. Any ideas? So what's next? Of course we all want more classic stages now, so welcome to my Top 10 section, a top 10 inside the top 10, where I'll list my favorite stages to get a remake. Number 10. DJ's stage in Super Street Fighter 2. Fun and colorful, the only downside is that you might invite DJ back into the game, and do we really need that? Did anyone play it as him? Number 9. Birdie's stage from Street Fighter Alpha 2. It's in a bathroom. Can you imagine the stage interactions? Number 8. T-Hawk's stage from Street Fighter Alpha 3. I don't know why, but I just find this one pretty cool. But keep it deserted. I don't want to see it filled with unnecessary crap in the background. Number 7. Vega's stage from Street Fighter 2. And make him able to climb the fence, obviously. Number 6. Sean's stage from Street Fighter 3 New Generation. Because I just fucking love Christmas, so fuck you if you don't. Number 5. The village where Dawson and Honda fought during the animated movie. Number 4. Alex's stage from Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. Alex had a surprisingly big number of stages, but none was cooler than his rooftop arena in Second Impact, so that definitely needs to come back. His New Generation one was pretty sweet too, so I'd settle for that. Number 3. Ego's stage from the original Street Fighter. Are you kidding me? It's gorgeous. Plus, an excellent way to bring Ego back. Number 2. The grass stage from Street Fighter Alpha 2. And I don't care how much you cry about not being able to see the character's feet. Number 1. Cammy's stage from Super Street Fighter 2. A non-brainer. Make it happen, Capcom. And now back to our regular top 10. Number 1. ChunLi looks pretty again. Now we all love ChunLi. She's called the first lady of fighting games and can be seen in pretty much everywhere a Street Fighter character has been, with very few exceptions. She had a few down moments, not being particularly good for a while, but really reached the top of her popularity during her dominant Street Fighter 3 Third Strike days, where few characters could oppose her power. Plus, she had a pretty badass sprite that was animated in awesome ways. Then came Street Fighter 4 and those hands. Oh my god, those hands. Do you guys remember that massive thumb she had in her original art? I still have nightmares about that thing. And what about this costume? What is this? It probably makes sense in Chinese culture, but it's just tacky and ugly in my opinion. Have you ever seen anyone that actually prefers to play with this one? My money is on no. What about this? Well, I can't judge too much since most Wild Pack costumes were awful, but still. What about this monstrosity she was made to wear in Street Fighter Cross Tekken? No, just no. Come on, not every female character needs to be beautiful, but this is fucking ChunLi. Have a little respect for the most important female character in fighting game history. What the hell is she walking around with a ridiculous panda costume? Are you freaking kidding me? In Street Fighter V, Chun is prettier than ever, and so far, all of her costumes are cool. Keep it like that, Capcom. So there you go. With that, you now have a complete list of 10 reasons to enjoy Street Fighter V. So go out there and start playing, but don't forget to share this video with your friends before you go. You do want to convince as many people as you can, right?